So I have some pretty big updates on the Apple Watch. More specifically, we might have a Pro model this year. And all these updates are coming from Mark Gurman's latest report. And we'll get into all the Apple Watch details right after this. If you're looking for a way to power your tech that's more green or portable for outdoors use, then tune in later to hear about our sponsor Jackery, who can help out with some great solar products. They're offering 30% off for Prime Day in the UK by using the link below. And now, back to the video. So I want to start off with the Apple Watch Pro. This is essentially that rugged model that we've heard rumored before, and according to Mark Gurman, this will very likely be called the Apple Watch Pro. And it will have a couple of unique features over the standard models that will make it worthy of its Pro name. Or maybe not really, but it will definitely have a Pro price. And I guess Pro makes a lot of sense. We have the iPhone 13 Pro, we have the MacBook Pro, we have the Mac Pro, so in that case, having an Apple Watch Pro does make a lot of sense. I guess that this is also a much better name than Edition, which is what we used to have. Apple calling it the Pro implies that it also has a couple of extra features over the standard models. And according to Mark Gurman, one of these extra features would be a more premium case. Mark says that the case of this watch would not be made out of aluminium. When we rendered our concept, we actually rendered it with a titanium finish. So I do believe that titanium is what we'll actually be seeing here with the Apple Watch Pro, and that's because titanium is very light, it's also very durable, and it also looks premium. Plus, this watch will still be focused at extreme sport athletes, with a couple of its features, which I'm going to cover in a second. So because of that, it of course needs to be light and durable, which titanium is. Now, something else that makes this Pro is the display. We know from Russ Young that the display will be getting bigger from 1.9 inches on the Series 7 to 1.99 inches. And Mark Gurman has reported on this as well, that the display will be getting about 7% larger than on the 45mm version of the Series 7. And on top of that, the display would also be getting more durable. More specifically, it would be more shatter resistant. So at the moment with the Series 7, the screen actually comes in two different versions. So if you buy the aluminum model of the Apple Watch, you will get an Ion X glass, which is essentially a more plasticky version of the screen, which is more durable when it comes to drops. But if you get the stainless steel model or the titanium, you actually get a sapphire crystal cover screen. So that one, being sapphire, is significantly more scratch resistant than the Ion X version. So I guess that maybe with this Apple Watch Pro, we would actually get a version of that sapphire screen that is also more durable when it comes to shattering and not just scratching. Like, I really don't see Apple putting Ion X glass onto this, especially considering the price, which, spoiler, it's gonna be really high. Now, aside from the titanium case and the larger screen, the whole watch would also be bigger. So according to Mark Gurman, it would come in either a 46mm case or a 47. But isn't this too big? Well, maybe. So at the moment, I'm using the 45mm version of the Series 7, which I think it is a bit too big for my wrist. The 41mm would be just too small, so for me at least, a 43mm version would be perfect. A 46mm or 47 would 100% be far too big for my wrist. And I guess that if this model does well and a lot of people actually buy the Pro model, then maybe next year we'll also see a smaller version of it for a lower price. But okay, what else can we expect? Well, because of that larger screen, it is very likely that we'll also see at least one new watch face specifically designed for this new Pro model. Now, I'm thinking that it would be something that offers more complications on the screen. So imagine the infograph modular face, but just with more complications to offer you more fitness metrics. In fact, Mark Gurman believes this to be the case as well. Something else that's also coming to this Pro model is a longer lasting battery. Essentially, since we have a larger case, the battery would also be getting bigger. So right now, I'm honestly pretty happy with the battery life that I'm getting from my Series 7. So I'm getting about a day and a half, and when I'm working out, especially outdoors, I'm getting about 1 day, which is still decent. I think my favorite part about it is that it charges super quickly. So even if it doesn't last for that long, you can charge it for in 30 minutes to like 50%. So I think that if this Apple Watch Pro offers us, I don't know, a 2-day battery life, I think that would already be a big improvement from the one they promised that the Series 7 at the moment offers. Speaking of the battery, there's also that new low power mode that's coming. So according to Mark Gurman, that is still in development at the moment. This was rumored before, and essentially it would be a low power mode that's more similar to the one on the iPhone. So right now, if you are to put your Apple Watch into low power mode, it would simply display the time and disable literally everything else. But essentially with this new low power mode, you would still be able to use your Apple Watch just as you would, but it would disable likely, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth and all that to make your battery last for longer. And it would also very likely downclock the CPU just to reduce the power consumption. So think of this as very similar to how it works on an iPhone. More about the upcoming Apple Watch Pro features right after this. Okay, so earlier in this video, I mentioned Jackery. They specialize in portable clean power, and they've sent over their Solar Generator 1000 for us to check out. This is made out of 3 products. The 2 Solar Saga 100 solar panels capture sunlight to convert it into electrical energy, which is then stored in the Explorer 1000 portable power station. Jackery says that you can fully charge the power station using only these 2 solar panels in just 8 hours. It's clean, quiet, and easy to use, making it perfect for camping and outdoor living. Plus, with rising energy costs, it can also provide a source of backup power for your current home. It can charge 8 devices at once with a capacity of 46,400 mAh, enough to charge an iPhone 13 14 times over. Check out Jackery by using the link below. And now, back to the video. Now, Mark has said before that this will very likely be a hardware exclusive feature. So even though we know that the chip is not changing, the Apple Watch Series 8 and also the Apple Watch Pro would still be using the same chip that we got in the Apple Watch Series 6, so the S6 just rebranded to the S8. It might actually have a coprocessor that might enable this new low power mode. And if this is indeed going to be an exclusive feature, I would expect this to be for that Pro model only, which combined with that larger battery could make the Apple Watch Pro last for quite a few days. This may just be the main reason to actually go for the Pro model. But okay, what else? Well, according to Mark, we might actually get a new sensor inside the Apple Watch Pro, at least according to the way he phrased it in his report. So he said that the Pro model will be getting a larger display, a higher end material, and then also new sensors. Now, we all know that the Series 8 will be getting that temperature sensor, and the Apple Watch Series 8 Pro would also be getting that one too. But I don't know, from the way that he phrased it, it makes me think that we might actually see something else on top of just that temperature sensor. So what extra sensor could we expect in that case? Well, it's definitely not going to be a blood pressure meter because that's still in the works. Same goes for the glucose monitor, that's still in the works. So my guess is that if we do get an exclusive sensor for the Apple Watch Pro, it would be the one for the satellite connectivity, which is not actually a new sensor, but at least it's extra functionality that would allow you to make emergency calls even when you're not connected to a mobile network. So I think all of this definitely makes this model a more Pro model, but like I said, the price is expected to be pretty high. So according to Mark, the Apple Watch SE, which by the way is getting updated to the 2nd generation now, that's gonna cost the same. So that's $279. Same goes for the Apple Watch Series 8, which is keeping that $400 price point. And then according to Mark, the Apple Watch Pro would cost between $900 to $1,000. Whoa. That's insanely expensive. That's more than double the price of the regular model. Now, some of you might say that, well, that's just the aluminum version of the regular model. There's also the stainless steel, which costs $700, and then the titanium, which costs $800. And that is true, but in that case, this is still, what, $100 to $200 more than the most expensive Apple Watch that we have right now. And I guess if you were to compare this with the Hermes edition, which basically has the same functionality as the regular model, but comes with those exclusive bands. In that case, I guess you might say that, oh, it's actually worth it. But I don't know, I just feel like that's extremely expensive for a watch, especially a smartwatch. And I also think that the lineup is going to be even more confusing now. Like right now you have 5 different models to choose from, which I think is extremely confusing. Like you have no idea if the Nike model is the Series 7 because it's not really labeled Apple Watch Series 7 Nike edition, just Nike, or if it's something else entirely. And what about the Apple Watch Studio? I know that that's the configurator, but the name makes it seem like a product too. And then once you've decided on one of these 5 different models, you then have to choose a case option, so different case sizes. You have to choose a band with multiple options, and then you have to choose between a regular and a silver model too. I guess the good news is that the Apple Watch Series 3 is finally getting discontinued, so in that case we would have 4 models to choose from instead of 5, or actually 5 if you count this Pro model. But I don't know, I just feel like Apple should only be offering 3 different models of the Apple Watch. The base model, which would be the SE, and that would come in an aluminum casing. Then the mid-tier, which would be the Series 8, which would come in a stainless steel casing, and then the Pro tier, the highest end, which would come in a titanium casing. And then in his report, Mark Gurman was also referring to some of the competitors that the Apple Watch Pro would have, with the main one being the Samsung Galaxy Watch 5 Pro. And I mean, to be honest, it's not really a direct competitor, because if you have an iPhone, you can only get the Apple Watch. And then if you have a Samsung phone, then of course you're very likely going to get the Samsung Galaxy Watch 5. But let's say that if you're open-minded to also changing your phone, they are indeed very different. So the Watch 5 Pro is said to have the largest battery that Samsung has ever put in any watch before, so easily expect a couple of days from that. And then on top of that, the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro is also expected to come with multiple health sensors that the Apple Watch won't have, such as a BMI sensor, also bone density, and just a ton of different things included in that. And then also a blood pressure meter. This one does need to be calibrated with an actual meter before using it, but still, it is there, which Apple Watch doesn't have. Now, of course, it does come with a circular design, which I do prefer over the more squared off design that the Apple Watch has. I guess that in the end, we'll have to wait and see. I think my main complaint with this watch would be, of course, the price, and then also the fact that if you really, really want it, you have to get it in that huge 46 or 47 millimeter size. But yeah, let me know, what do you guys think? And if you are getting a new Apple Watch, which one of these 3 new models would you go for? Apple Watch SE, Series 8, or this upcoming Apple Watch Pro, or Series 8 Pro? I'm Daniel, this has been ZONEofTECH, and I'll see you guys in the next one. ZONEofTECH, signing out. Cheers.